Good morning, everyone. Welcome along. Welcome to Steelhorse Station. Hope you're well today. It is 7 a.m. here in Melbourne, Friday morning. Good to see you in, John, and glad to hear you're out of hospital. I too am looking forward to a good stream and enjoying making silver run. So glad it's capturing your imagination a little. It's a bit of fun. I never quite know where Jake is going to take things, so I kind of like that. It's good fun. So we are heading over to the Oaks today, and we have, as usual, there plenty on. Now I've gotten going. So I've got one of the kids putting grass in the field here. We'll just catch up on where things are. So as you can see, I finished cultivating, well, mulching and then cultivating the stubble from our crops. And so I got grass in the field next door. And what we need to do, and I just realized I probably should do that. It is very nice. Thank you, John. It never ceases to amaze me, to be honest. I'll just do this little bit here, and I just suddenly realized the other thing I need to do is start the new day. So we can duck across to the farmhouse in just a sec. Thanks, Jason. Welcome in. So we're literally just starting the day here. Haven't quite finished getting the canola off. But I'll explain why in a sec. Let's go for a 7 a.m. start. There's lots of contracts in the district, so we might want to get the cash. Okay, so we can see, so that field with the corn that we've been looking at is up to 338, but which is still cheap. That's this field over here. No, this field over here, field 52. So if we were able to raise the funds, I reckon it'd be a good pickup. Oh, what's happening here? Let's try and get the right buttons pressed. But in terms of our dashes, what's the best way to... Let's have a look here. So we have... So cultivated 61 and put grass in it. Cultivated 60 and now putting grass in it. We've got a little bit of crop still, our canola on 68, and the reason it's taking longer is that our silo in the shed in our yard is full, and so now we're having to cart it up to the cow farm, which is working fine. We finished all the contracts we were doing, and I also cut and collected the grass on 76 in the church meadow, and that's now in the bunker. So basically that brings us to the start of September. Looks like we've got rain in the forecast, so that might affect what we do. So as you can see, the grass has come up there, which is good. I'm very interested to hear what symptoms, if any, people are experiencing since the patch. Oh, damn, I've done it again. Thank you. I get so caught up in what I want to talk about. There we go. Oh, just hang on. The dog wants to go out. I will return in a moment. Righty ho. So, as I was saying, we have grass now in 61 and going into 62. I've cut and collected the grass off 76 in the church meadow, and we've got a little bit of canola left on 68. We have silage for selling, and we've got a bunker that's now got 879,000 litres in it that needs compacting. So we can get that sorted through the course of the day. We have a bunch of straw bales. And let's pop this over here for the moment. I think before we decide what we're going to do for the day, we'll probably need to check the weather report. Would be a good approach. Get rid of you, hit you. Let's have a look at the weather. Just a shower just before lunch, so I don't think that's enough to warrant adjusting any plans. In terms of stuff we've got on hand, so you can see we're collecting quite a nice lot of canola off that field, which will pay very nicely when the time comes. We have buckets of silage to sell, and similarly of straw. So the real question is, what jobs do we want to do? What indeed? Let's just pop you in the shed for the moment. How many bales did that work out to be? 61, right. Let's have a look at contracts. So we don't need to be baling, I don't think. Well, that's a big contract. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. I'm guessing that 11's a fairly large field. The contract requires you to deliver 3 million litres of sugar beet. That sounds like rather a lot. $20 hours for the contract. And given the only practical beet harvester we can afford is the trailed one that holds 6,000 litres, that's an awful lot of trips, awful lot of unloads. So I'm tipping that's not a contract for us. Sugar beet on field 34, if we wanted to have a crack at that, is a little bit more reasonable, but that's still 90 unloads. Yes, the carting. Well, at least we've got the random trailer, which will take 30,000 litres. So that's kind of, you know, every 5 unloads. But yeah, that other one sounds like a lot. But potentially we could just get the 2 harvesters working on one of these big crop contracts, one of these big grain contracts. You know it's a big contract when the field formatting doesn't work. So something like the oats on field 1, or there was another one down here, the wheat on field 60. Which is where 59, where is 60? That should be close. Oh, there it is. That's that really odd shaped field underneath us. And field 1 is over here. Yes, I'm very much agreeing with you, John. So you can see the relative side. Field 11's enormous. I think the only one we would contemplate is if field 34 came up. Sugar beet. Is it in the list? It is. And that's the one I had highlighted. But even field 34 is, I suppose it's 15 truckloads, assuming we can keep the harvester running. So that's an option for us. We would need to sell this trailer of silage. Where are we? Beat tech. Yeah, so we need 100 and... What are you? You're the topper, aren't you? No, that's a harvester. Okay, that's the topper. Right. That's the topper. So we need 120,000 in order to be able to have any chance of taking on a contract. There's nothing. What's that? That's a weeder for beets. Ooh, it's a nice tractor. So I think we think about that for a minute. But I am inclined to take a larger field, a larger grain field, and get the two. Well, where's the harvester gone here? There, he's all the way at the other end. And get the two harvesters working on the same field. Apart from the fact that we haven't done that on here before. That was kind of the purpose for having them. So they're nicely matched. And we've got the equipment for that. Let's just, before we start off here, get that bit there. Because this guy's going to be finished here in just a second. We're going to forage pick up weight, right. So the question becomes, which of these contracts do we tackle? The advantage I see in doing a larger field is it's just less moving equipment around. I guess the grain we want in surplus, realistically, is barley or wheat, isn't it? Because that's what we'll use for our chickens. Field 67 might be a good one. G'day, Tanner. Welcome along. We're just trying to pick the work plan for the day as we check in on where we're up to. And we've concluded... Oh, I think 67 is an excellent choice. It's nice and central between the two farms. It's a more realistic field shape for us to work. So I reckon we take 67. So let's do that. No, we don't. It's corn. No. Why did I think it was the right? Okay, bugger it. Let's do 60. If we have trouble, we have trouble. And I'm thinking 7 or 49. We get a couple of the little tractors working on one of those cultivating contracts. There's 7. 7's over there. 49's on this side. 49's pretty convenient location, so I think we'll take 49 for the minute. 49.60, and we can still... I do not have corn headers, which is the reason I'm steering away from that. We didn't buy corn headers because if we pick up a cornfield, which is that auction that's running at the minute, the plan is to forage it. So I think we'll stick with the grains we've got for the moment. Now, I think that's going to be enough work to be going on with. We can still ponder the... let's go here. What have we got? We'll use the Voltra to take the silage. We'll go and sell the silage just to kick our cash up a little bit. The other thing I need to be doing, of course, well, I remember because I haven't been able to advance that mod at all is drop our loan back to 780,000. So pay off our, save that, escape out of there. So we're doing all right on the money side. The loans dropped back for, was it 950, you might recall. So in addition to starting to build things up, we've paid that down quite successfully, or started to pay it down quite successfully. And if you've joined us since I opened, we've got grass which is going into these two fields on my right as a cover crop. So that's a step forward for us. And the thing we're pondering through the course of the day is, do we take on the smallest sugar beet contract on the map, as it would require us to spend 120 grand potentially on some sugar beet equipment. We could of course lease it, given we're in a little better standing. And it sounds like I need to go and let the dog back in. Just bear with me a second. Sorry about that. The only real downside of the change in streaming times is that there's nobody about. And the dog doesn't care. He has his standard morning routine that he wishes to fulfill. Okay. Yeah, oh no, he's actually really good like that. So he just stood at the door and one bark. He doesn't paw at the door at all, thankfully. I think it helps a little bit that there's a double glazed glass pane all the way to floor level, so he can actually see in. So he knows if there's someone there that is just ignoring him, or versus he's got to make a louder noise for somebody to come from somewhere else in the house, in this case me. The advantage of a working dog as a domestic household member, sometimes the intelligence is annoying, but most of the time it's good fun. Rightio. So I didn't get any responses before. Has anybody had any issues following the update that's come during the week? What I'm intrigued about is that there's definitely been a change to the Giants editor. I haven't tried to open this map in Giants editor, but as for the map itself, I know Brisco's done Farm Sim Brisco's done an update, but I haven't found any need to. It doesn't look funny. Oh, how did I get? 29,000 income. That's a bit bizarre. What just happened there? I just got 29,000 harvest income for doing what? Oh, that was just the silage sale. Okay, cool. Goodness, I'm just thinking all of it, just was wondering, it felt like it came up as a contract delivery, and I'm thinking, I'm not sending anything to deliver against contracts. But yes, it was the silage sale. Gosh, my brain is not working well this morning. Glad you guys are paying attention. So we're at 105. I think for the moment we'll hold off on the sugar beet. Not feeling compelled to leap into that right off the bat. We'll go and get this, the two harvesters working on this weird shaped field, which will be a challenge in itself. And it's also a very large contract, of course. So, what do we need to do? We need to go up to the other map and avoid the accident in the back road. There we go. We need to go up to the other yard and dispatch the harvest. I did repair up all the equipment, which is the other thing that ate some of the funds that we generated from the two harvest contracts we have taken so far. But everything should be fueled and ready to go. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was expecting to have issues based on, and I watched a little video that Disturbed had done, but I didn't encounter any at all, or at least none that I can attribute directly to the update and a map. So because of the shader issue that I'd seen a little written about, just looked to me like anytime Giants have changed the shaders, the map and the game needs to recalculate or reconstruct its shaders when it starts. And that's exactly what happened here. But so I just did what I normally do, which is fly around for a couple of minutes to give it a chance to rebuild, which it did, and since then everything seems to be fine. I've had a couple of little issues which I hate it when you get stuck between the wall and the piece of equipment. That's what we need you to be doing, isn't it? we could do to put you... Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a one-off thing at first load. And that's the only issue I've encountered. I have a suspicion it's exacerbated a random mod conflict that I've been experiencing, which has got something to do with the mouse. So there are circumstances. Now there you go. Oh, I haven't looked at the Lake Mirage, but given what the patch notes said they did with what was it, SLSS, I'm not surprised that some reflections could be a bit tangled. Now, what we want to try and do here is take you, and the reason I'm not prioritizing the harvests at the minute is just because we're waiting for the canola to finish anyway. But we need to create a job. Why are you not selecting the bunker? Because you've got a course. I do not have the updated map because at the minute I can't see a need to, and the problem with going to an updated map is that the customizations that I have done along the way will be gone. And that doesn't thrill me at all. Now, silo position is that one. I want to go backwards into the silo. Park position, let's put it out here. Let's see if we can get it to work. So far, so good. You appear to be driving to the park position. Well, no, that's the bit I don't understand. I know how to do it. It's just a considerable piece of work. So, but yes, that's why I watched Disturbed's video, so I know what he's done. But what I'm trying to understand is, because in typical fashion, it appears there's very little actual documentation from Giants. Are we really at the bottom of what they've done and therefore what needs to be done? And I don't want to start messing around with it only to find that some people know and some people are guessing. Oh crap, we're stuck. That didn't take long. We'll come back and check on you in a bit. That's where we want to be. I know I keep saying this, but I don't understand. No, and on this particular occasion, I don't understand either. There was a fairly nicely but directly worded plea in the forums from one of the very experienced modders along those lines. It's like, you know, basically, why are you so unhelpful? Given the work that the modders do off their own bat, why do you force all of them to independently figure out how to deal with your changes when you could just provide a little more documentation and everybody would be off on the right footing? No worries, Tanner. Great to see you. Thanks for popping in. We will go and get this funny shaped field sorted now. So field 60, isn't it? So let's send you down to field 60. Oops, got that one. Field 60 is not in 61 to 70. It's, I reckon field 60 north might be a good place to go. So let's go down there. But anyway, these things are sent to keep people entertained, I guess. New things to find out, but I'm just thankful it works enough that I can stream on it, and I'm hopeful through the next week or two. It just means I won't do any modifications, because I'm pretty sure from what I have read that I now can't open this map in the new version of Giants Editor without screwing things up. The good news is on Silverrun, because it's a locked DLC, none of the modifications I'm doing require any fancy tools because I don't have that level of access to the map. It's field 60 north is where you're going. Now, what else have we got here? What we might do for this contract is invest in the tipper back for the D54. Or do we just... do we just go with the Marshall? Holler for a Marshall. It probably doesn't mean anything to the non-Australians on the stream. There's a brand of car battery in Australia which is called Marshall. Oh, that's not the trailer I'm looking for. The trailer I'm looking for is actually running on a tractor at the minute, isn't it? I reckon maybe we do that. So, where am I going to park this out of the way? And off there. Apart from that, it's a bit bumpy. Let's send you off to the dealership. You're stuck again. Let's... and I'm stuck underneath. Oh, come on. It'll eventually get it flattened down. Just that heavy weight on the front gets dug in. Like so. How are we going for 4%? That's going to take a little while. Now, over here, you finished. Good job. You need some fuel. There's a couple little tufts over there, which we might as well pick up while we're given it's our field and our crop. And that means we can send you to field 60 as well. Take you off there. Now we can see how much canola we ended up with, somewhere up near 200,000 litres, I suspect, which is a pretty handy output. $211, that was hardly worth opening everything up against. Never mind. Is he gonna stop for me? Come on. You're gonna want to come and do it yourself. Kids are following instructions. Where are you going? Completely confused. Course play and auto drive. There we go. So 8,000 in here. Right. Good, good. We'll send you to deliver. Whoops. Pick up and deliver. Just deliver to field 28. Silo unload. Off your toddle. And then you can shut that down there. Pretty sure I can't drive to 60 north with the head. Well, I probably could get to 60 north with the header on the front, but let's just do it the right way. You've had your course cleared. We need fuel before we go anywhere. Maintenance looks all right. Let's duck over here. Put a little bit of fuel in. Filling up with fuel, we can go to here and shut that one, open that one. 60 north is where we're going to want you. Let's try and reverse up here without breaking anything. Drive. There, shit. Tito, stop. That should be good. I'm going to ultimately need you down there as well. Let's figure out the actual route to 60 north. Oh, it's okay, it's over there. Can we get through that way, I wonder? Let's find out. Let us have a look. A little bit hazy this morning. So we have to explore around in this direction, I think. Question is, does that road give us access through or not? I do not have relight on the map. I don't use relight myself. That's interesting. Oh, because I started planting before we rolled the day over. That's why that grass is... Okay, so here's field 60. Right in here. And there is some of our equipment. Very good. So let's pull you in out of the way. Park you sort of in the hedge. Now, we can stop you for the minute. Actually, we can leave you on that call. Where is this contract delivering to? 60 North is going to Norfolk Grain. Look, DLC. Productions, Norfolk Grain. Okay, so you can just sit there like so. Wait till you're required. I'm guessing at a good spot. How are we going to do this? Not exactly an enormous amount of room. Pop you there. We might have to move the trailers. I've never bothered with relight, Jason, because I actually find I like the lighting on most maps. The only one I ever contemplated putting it on was Halmakra. Now, let's see. I'm expecting on the first headland that we're going to have a problem here with courseplay, but let's just... So we're going to want to run 2. We will start. We'll go clockwise. We want to do lands. 6 rows per lands. We'll find out whether it can handle the... Because there is an island in the fields. Let's see here, field 60. Let's generate the course and see what sort of challenge this introduces. I'm prepared for this to take a little while, actually. Much calculation required on... I'm also prepared for the fact we might have to define it into 2 bits. It might just, but because it's a completely irregularly shaped field, it might be beyond courseplay. I can safely say I've never had courseplay think about it that long. No worries, John. Thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your weekend and we'll catch you next week. There we go. It got there. And it got there with a course that looks sensible. So let's start you off. So you're 60 north, don't need to worry about that. You're on the left course. We'll copy you. Oh, that was the other thing that I did. So down at this sell point, if you haven't had experience with it, the actual trigger for sales is here, which makes perfect sense because this is a receiving warehouse. But when it acts as a sell point, you back up to here, but getting your goods over there is a challenge. So the warehouse has invested in a forklift so that we're able to move what we'll typically sell here. Will be eggs, I think. But that's just a new piece of equipment that I picked up. Doesn't belong, it ultimately won't belong to us. I haven't made the change yet. I don't need you for the moment. Need to turn you off. Where are you up to? Why am I not got another harvester here? You need to head down to you can go to 60 north. $60 north. Don't worry about you. You're all set for when you get called, potentially. You're at the dealership where we want to look for. Now, what we're looking for in here is the dumper back for that truck. Oops. Combinations. That's the one I want, I think. What's the difference between the two? 10,000 to 12,000. $9,000 to 15,000. Oh, I see. That can have a spreader put on it. Yeah, I was just... It looks like it does. I reckon the side tip makes it much more practical and flexible. And the other thing I was looking at is that looks to me to be a much more realistic capacity. So I'm thinking we just go with that. And then it should be able to tow a trailer as well. So let's buy one of those and give it a whirl. Good catch, Jason. Which way? Maybe. Okay. I had a 50-50 chance of guessing which end it connected to, and I got it wrong. Yes. Yeah, that was a good observation also. I'm just looking at the size of the bed and saying, well, you know, that's going to be 2 meters wide by 1 meter high by 4 meters long. That's an 8 meter realistic capacity. So I'll live with 9. But the advantage of that size, it's a good size to, when you add it to the Marshall trailer, that's probably go close to getting 3 tanks out of the harvester. 60 north, and off you go. And that looks pretty good. We'll live with that. He's managed to keep going for a bit. And what are we? 24%. Yeah. Don't want you for the moment. I could send you to start the cultivating contract, couldn't I? Why don't we do that? Pretty sure you can pull the cultivator. At least if you've had some maintenance, you can. Let's put some fuel in you. Just takes a little while to get everybody in position. You're fueled up. You're down. Might even have the kids' friends employed on the farm today. A few repairs required there. So we want to send you to field 49. Can you get there from here? Looks like you can. What's happening down here? We should have another harvester here somewhere. We do. Looks like, well, the fact that the truck's not sitting there suggests that harvester 1 managed to at least call it. Whether it's all tangled up somewhere down on the side of that field is probably another story. Let's pop this trailer in the hedge on this side. We want to copy the temporary course. Yes. And then we want you to be right. This waypoint. Let's get you started off there. Oops, let's try hitting the correct button, shall we? And try that there. Good. So the truck made it to there, but can't get close enough. Right. Let's turn you off. Let's put you open you and jump out of here. You got stuck on the tree after you called, which is really not too bad because it only just got caught on the tree on that corner. And purely a function of timing of when it stuck its auger out. I also added the new, or the updated version of the fill tip mod, which seems to be working quite nicely, so that I can see down here the fill volume of the trailer that I'm tipping into. I like the little icon too. So you can go there. You want to go nearest waypoint. Off your toddle. Now we can put you. Actually, I we can try and guess if we park you up here. I thought it was really neat. It just came out in the last couple of days. So it is called Phil. Oh, can I sort these by date? Better contracts. It's trailer fill. Target fill level, it's called. So if I switch across, this guy, target fill level, author is Tinte, and it's a script mod, but really cool. So I like it. I like it a lot. And particularly I like the fact that it's like it says in the description there, it's clean. It only does, oh, and I guessed right. This was a good spot to leave the truck so that the harvester stopped beside it. So now we can turn you on. Yeah, it was clean, so it only does what it says it is. It doesn't add any key bindings. It's kind of like, okay, that's neat. The likelihood of it interfering with something else is low, and in terms of using your screen's real estate, it's at a really sensible level. I'm disappointed the truck decided to hair across the field, but there you go. This really is a big field, isn't it? This contract is going to take some time. We can put the, speaking of time, now, don't need you. You're at the field that's requiring of cultivating. So we'll pop you on. Let's just make sure we've got enough horsepower on this tractor. Yeah, that'll be all right. I'm happy with that. So this is a good job for one of the kids. You can start work on the headland is fine. 4 or 5 headlands will be good. There we go. So the question is, do we run multiple unloading vehicles? I think we think we do what I was originally planning. So we'll take you off and we'll see how the truck goes with the trailer. So you can head back to Putney main yard. Oops. Just misjudged that a little. Are you not going to connect on there just to be difficult? I thought I had a multi-hitch on this. No, I do. Just not lined up. Now, unload combine, field 60. Sell points, Norfolk. What's this weight point look like? Well, it's not horrid. We'll see how it goes. When there's 2 headlands done, I reckon I might build the loop a bit bigger and put a field weight point here, and then potentially have it just might be a little bit more reliable, but it also makes it easy then to have one vehicle servicing each harvester, which is not necessarily more efficient because then both the harvesters have weights, whereas this way the harvesters should run more of the time as long as we keep an eye. Oh, you're stuck. What are you doing? You found the edge of the map. Don't know why. You have been called. Have I used the trick to make a 2-way track around the field on the first headland? I have not. Please explain. Does that involve sending the harvesters in opposing directions? Set trailers to nearest edge for exit, and then they run down the oh, okay, we will try that then. So trailers Minute maximum to look ahead distance. Is that an auto drive setting or a course play setting? Field exit, hang on. Closest point. I assume that's that one. That's it. Okay. So we'll apply that. Yeah. You, my friend, need to be turned back on. Because the other harvester needs an unload. Which you haven't heard, is the other vehicle's gone over there, hasn't it? He has. So let's do your setting as well. If this truck can handle the weight, I'm liking the combination of the Marshall and the tipper. I reckon it'll work well. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it does look, it kind of looks proportionately correct and all. And exactly the sort of vehicle combination that a farm like this would have. Yeah, one that's been around for 30 odd years and just gets hauled out whenever they need it. Certainly the farm that I'm familiar with from my childhood had something similar. Now, is he going to stop? Yes, he is. So that's pretty cool. And the only problem we've got here is they're both now going to get filled up. Works. Yes. Yeah. If I hadn't have been messing around with the other one, it would have filled the other one first. But that's okay. We'll just keep an eye on it, see where it gets to. The front harvester is where? I don't have park set on that one, so I've got park set on the other one. What's the key code to unset park? Can't remember. I did turn you back on, didn't I? Yep. So I'm guessing that's my shaders issue at the edge of the field there. But as you can see, it self-corrects, so... 88%. We're getting stalked. Field boundary's just big enough that we're not getting hung up on the trees. We should cut in here. Here come, there you go. It really is clever functionality. Particularly when it's not base game. It's just an overall stunning piece of work. Give up. Why did you not? Is the other one moving? No. Here he comes. There you go. Love it when it works properly. Very nice. Got one queued up behind us. Shouldn't be there for too long though. Come on, lovey, you need to back the truck up. You just caught. Otherwise you would have been perfect. Lovely. Welcome along any folks that have joined us that are lurking in the background there. Great to have you in today. Hope you're having a good week. We have stretched out here and taken on a rather large contract with our 2 harvesters. So far they're going pretty well. They're just at the beginning, of course, but we seem to have them on a pretty good trajectory. As you can see, it is a quite unusually shaped field, so we're giving course play a workout along with our equipment. So how much volume do we have to deliver here? Almost 750,000 litres of wheat, so that's a fair amount. And we have all the kids working and Harold today. Let's just run up here and see what's what. I could probably turn the straw swath off, couldn't I? That might be a good idea. Less bumping and potential obstacles. to stop while it's raining. Fuel save. Where is it? Combine settings. Straw swath is deactivated. That's better. And in the other one, there we go. I'm in auto drive. Let's try. Okay, we've called the truck. Lizard man, Massey. Oh, the Vulture's working in the bunker, isn't it? Check on him in a minute. Just want to make sure that the truck and trailer can actually get off the field and get on their way to the tip point. This unload should empty successfully. Whoops, braking was a problem. Only just pulled up before the woods. This reminds me, have I got on that the auto speed? What are the maxes set at? Okay. 49 mile an hour might be a little on the fast side for that. Probably not a bad screenshot. Might grab that one. Putney kids have come a long way. Take that fill. Yes, you are. Potentially. No, you're going to go. I don't know why you go through the crop, but that works for me. That's a reasonable load. Now, where is Norfolk? It's going to get you out of the field too, so hopefully these trailers aren't in the way. And where's Norfolk? Is that East Coast? What's the one at the top called? Mill Road. Norfolk. Yeah, it's pretty much as far away as you can get. That's all right. We've got our best haulers on the job. Looks like it might be Michelle today. There's compacting coming along. About halfway. We've just had a bit of spillage out the front, but that's all right. And we've got this tractor, which we will run down and do some maintenance on. Oop. Crash counter. Took out the gate post. So of course the next job is to mulch that canola field. You. So we get going on that. The other thing we should buy is a roller. We don't have one of those. Look at that in a minute. Now, where did I put? There it is. We need a weight on the front here, potentially. The weights are sitting in there, are they? That one will be a bit heavy. You out. Do the trick. rollers. I'm thinking we obviously can't afford the Delbo. Is there anything interesting on sale? That cheap slurry tanker is the sort of thing we would need at some point, but not necessarily now. Could upgrade the tractors, but nothing in there. Right, so rollers, I'm thinking I'm not familiar with these, but that's a roller and cultivator, is it? And it's only 6 meters, so that's not a go. What's this guy? That's just the straight roller. The Bedner is only 6 meters as well. I reckon this is the guy we probably want. The reason being is that we can switch him in the workshop to the different configurations. Field roller. Well, I think we'll leave it at blue then, because that's the color it comes in. It's a good width for us, so I reckon we'll buy one of those. Rightio. Put you down, turn you on. Why did you not lower? This is an issue I was having. There is something I've loaded that is conflicting with my key for lowering. Whoops. There we go. Is that actually mulching? Yes, it is. It's just really hard to see. Doesn't take long for those weeds to pop up. You know, I suppose if I put the mulch configuration on that roller that we just bought, I could do this a little bit faster, but I kind of like this. This will actually travel a little bit faster than the roller will. At some point when we're feeling financial, we need to add GPS to the Voltra, so that we start to improve the technology equipment level of the farm. like the cultivator's making reasonable progress, which is good. What's the field angle over here? It's not quite 90 degrees on this side, is it? So our first truckload made it 1%. That's interesting. 100 truckloads we're gonna need. No, 3%. Okay, that was the truck, and then there's the trailer. So we're gonna need 30. In fact, 33 truckloads, because they're not a million miles apart in total capacity. I'm streaming for about another 30 minutes. That's okay. And there's the second truck was right behind it. What I'm pleased about though is that the automation seems to be working pretty well, so you know, notwithstanding 2 TX32s are a pretty small config for that field. But knowing that we can take it on and get it done is fine. Right, we're getting our bunker rolled. You know, we'll have 800 odd thousand of silage in there, so our money stream for the next little while is assured. What angle is this side? This is 270, so I'm going to go with just a regular worker on there. And you trundle backwards and forwards. Shortly we're going to have to push this back into the bunker. 65%, that's coming along. You got 100,000. You're not quite full. Turn on the conveyor belt. Go pretty close to taking all of that. Just a little bit in the corner. Okay, that's an empty bunker. So we'll turn you off. How much was in the conveyor? 35, and there's 100 in there. That's good. Yeah, we're out. Check in on our cultivator. When the opportunity arises, we probably need to avail of a larger cultivator too, I think. You can keep huddling away there. Yeah, have our trucks got back here yet? Probably not. Let's have a look. Where are they? Two harvesters are stopped down the bottom. Why can I not see the trucks on the map? Where have the trucks gone? The trucks are being controlled by autodrive, I guess, is the problem. But we still should be able to see them. Oh, there they are. So they're almost back, which is good. And the question we have is, has the contract on field, no, the sugar beet contract on field 34 is still sitting there. So we will keep an eye on that one. How long till these guys need fuel? Actually, that's a good question. You're fine for fuel. And you're fine for fuel, okay. Trucks are just coming past the... One of them is... Yep, both of them are. There we go. So they're not far from the field now. Cool. I'm just curious to see if they take this route down here or if they go round. They're going round. Little bit of Les Aboumer. Okay, let's go up to here. That one's all right there. Did I set the CP harvest for multi-tool? Which setting are you referring to? So if I go into the vehicle, so I've got a right and left course, if that's what you mean. So we're running both harvesters on the same course, one on the right and one on the left. Other than that, I'm not sure. Yes, yeah. So absolutely. So that's what I was hoping for. And I'll be interested to see, given that both harvesters are now waiting for them. And in this configuration, this is probably where we need an auger wagon. But which harvester will they unload first? My understanding is they should unload the lead one first. But we'll wait and see what happens when the trucks get here. They can't be far away. You should be able to see them on the other map. Yeah, here they are. They're coming up the road. Just hoping that those trailers are tucked back out of the way enough. They looked like they were, but we'll find out in a minute. Oh, stretch. Maybe not. Pretty sure they're stuck on that trailer. And you can sit over there. You should get the call, which you do. And drive straight onto the crop. That's the bit that I don't understand why that setting doesn't work anymore. Maybe to get some of the other bugs that they had sorted out, they had to reduce its interest in the driving on the crop. Let's come down to you, where we can see both harvesters. About that position, we should see the trucks over there. So the harvesters are about 1/10, almost 8%, I suppose, of the way through their waypoints. So one, so that's really funny. The one truck's following the rules, one's not paying any attention at all. I'm sure I've got that set correctly. You want auto drive settings, auto connect vehicle, avoid fruit. You clearly did not avoid the fruit. However, oh, we've got one going to each, so the thing about that though is we're always going to have a wait cycle. We almost need one more carting combination. We could, I guess, get the other dumper. He doesn't hold very much, but it might be just enough capacity to keep the vehicles moving. We'll get the Fiat. Where is he? There you are. If you... Oops. Unload combine 60 north to Norfolk. We'll see. But you can't get out of there. No. Didn't think so. Yeah, you should be right. Really? That's the course you're on? Something over here. Oh, we're stuck. Big hole you've made there. Some point in our future, we're going to need a bigger compaction vehicle. And you're just going to go and get yourself stuck again. Oh no, maybe not. Mulching is coming along. Is that where the pit is leaking outside? No, the pit's pretty good, actually. In fact, these pits, one little bit at the back of this one, but by and large, no bleed at all. I'm quite impressed with them. Yep. No, the spillage is in front. So he's just flattened out the front here. Which I expected because I knew... I tried my best to get it stacked back in the pit, but I knew once he started flattening it out, we'd end up with it in the front. It's just I didn't want to use the leveler first. The experience I've found is it's better to let it get compacted and then use the leveler to push it in. The leveler eats less. Although that'll be very interesting with the new patch to see whether, you know, there's an undocumented fix that fixes the fact that the levelers eat eat chaff. So this one's coming along nicely. Everything else is working to plan. Let's come back over here. Trucks are going for their next unload. Right, he's following him up the side. Which is not the most efficient way to do it, but it does work. The effect this might have is to get them some separation, actually. Because doing it this way, he should get to full faster. I thought your age of stock thought bubble made a lot of sense. I don't know how to necessarily to think about implementing it. I mean, it was just maths. I guess you just got to store more information about the animals to sort of create like a pseudo table. Yeah, I think that's the way you would do it. So you would create I guess you got two choices. Depends how your priority in solving is. You could simply just trigger off the age of the animals when they get to the shearing shed, and the thing that makes it more complicated is if you, because I wanted to take into account how long they'd been in the pasture, and if you're then doing that by age, you're ending up with a table for your data about your wool mark, which is not an issue. It just makes the processing side of it slightly more complicated. Now for the user, it won't be a complexity at all, so let's see what's happening over there. He's tootling up there. So the one area where the two harvesters are set differently is, I'm guessing it's this harvester is set to follow while unloading, whereas the other harvester will stop while unloading. Righty ho. Quite pleased with how that's all working. I mean, we haven't got to the really complex part of the field yet with the island bit, but as far as the second headland, well, I guess it's the third headland, really. Second pair of headlands. It's gone swimmingly. Our reserve truck has just pulled up. I don't know where the truck's gone now. Would have driven off the field. There's the other. There's the 754 got itself tangled up. That's the only thing that could have happened. Oh no, he's just... No, he just hasn't responded. He wasn't close enough to respond to the call. And so the... Oh well. It'll work itself out, I'm guessing. Funny how it creates holes. Nope, there's no product down there, that's good. Good, good, good. And it's almost compacted, that's what we wanted to see. It took the whole, well, this vehicle took the whole stream to compact the bunker. Only a couple of hours of game time though. The mulching's coming along. As it is cultivating. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Let's check. 8 cows, plenty of food, plenty of water. We're not expecting milk yet. How are the chickens going? Coop 1. They're munching through a little bit. Coop 2. Got coop 280, 362. And then the home chooks, we probably need to move a few of those again because they've bred and they're eating all the food. Must remember with some of the surplus to drop some off, but go and get the cages and move the oldest out of here into coop 3, I guess, and we'll get that one started. And how are Mabel and Bessie going? They're almost out of hay. So we can What have we got? Nothing in the right spot to help Mabel and Bessie or to move the milk. He's at 5, so he can take 2 loads. One of the New Hollands needs some maintenance. And the area precision farming scores. The fields we're working are doing okay. At some point maybe we'll drop a crop in 76 so that we can get that score up a little bit. Well, this is pretty much where I was hoping to get to for the day. The harvest is going to keep progressing. For the next 6.5 hours based on the time estimate up there, so I will bump it along as I have opportunities over the weekend. I don't know whether we'll finish this in the... We've got to finish it in this game day, so it just remains to be seen. I think this is... Whoops. That's not the button I wanted. That's the button. Yeah, the harvest window for wheat finishes in September, so remains to be seen whether we'll be still in September for Monday's stream or whether we will be forward into October. We'll just have to wait and see. We farewell our international visitor today, so may have some more time over the weekend. We'll just see. Looks like I'm getting more. It's interesting. More overlap there. That's strange. But where it's drawing the harvester versus where it's taking the crop isn't lined up correctly. That's odd. I've not noticed it doing that before. It's operating at the right width, it's just not got the vehicle positioned drawing properly. How odd. So you're coming up. Yeah, maybe. But if you look at it there, it's almost like... Well, I suppose it could be the smallest drawing unit of the crop, given it's a 4x map. But definitely the width that's not going into the header on the right is the same as being withdrawn on the left, so... The effect in terms of harvesting is correct. It's just where the vehicle's positioned for the draw. We've almost finished this truck. Almost filled this truck. And has but the percentage overlap's only at 3%. I generally have that quite low, so that's... See, interestingly, in this direction, it's much less. Oh, it was. No. That looks much better now. This side isn't quite straight. How odd. I wonder what the other one's doing. And I do like that film meter. That's working a treat. What'll be interesting is when this harvester gets to the bottom of the field, whether it like how it looks going across that same line we were just looking at. So you'll be round there in just a minute. I'll stay with him for that long. He's kind of allowing for the curves and everything. He's doing all right around here. Might just be a combination of rounding errors for the 4x effect on the field and the modelling in the header. And the actual terrain angle. And that's definitely better there. That's what I normally expect to see. Just get up to the corner. Let's have a look here. So, still got a little bit further to go to get on that field edge. Almost there. I think it's got to do with it's just that something to do with the positioning on this angle of the field. So that a combination of factors, I suspect, because it's doing exactly the same as the other harvester did. Even though it's harvesting the line, you think. So yes, I agree, it's just a visual thing. Let's go and see, did our truck head off? There's the 754, there's the Fiat. You must be just about full. Oh, you know you've been called, okay. And you're driving across the crop, of course you are. So the other truck... TX... That's the one I was looking for. No, that's not the one I was looking for. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. No. There you are. Right. So our harvesters are still working and we've got 2 trucks at the field and 1 in transit. So the 3 might just be the right combination here because the Fiat's going to be full as soon as he does the unload. So he'll head off. Whereas this guy can still take, whoops, this guy can still take, can I get into you? G'day, Bruce. You've arrived just as I was finishing up, but I can bring you up to speed. We've taken on a large wheat contract down here on the bottom of the map on this very irregularly shaped field. And we've got our 2 harvesters going pretty well and 3 of the kids are driving cartage. So it'll be a slow old effort, but horseplay is so far behaving itself very nicely and the equipment is working a treat. We also have a bunker being compacted. If I've gotten stuck. Yeah, that's certainly been my finding. But interestingly, well, we've only been running it for a few minutes, but those 3 seem to be working in quite nicely. And because it's such a long distance to the drop point, I'm hoping it'll work fairly well. But I'll report back. So we must be almost finished compacting here. We've got a bit to push back in, 95%, so that's good. Over here we got all our canola off Bruce, so we're mulching this field, which is about halfway through, and we also have a cultivating contract going over here. So pretty busy. We decided not to take the sugar beet contract that is on offer on field 11 because it requires 3 million litres of delivered sugar beet, which, given we would only have a trailed harvester with a hopper size of 6,000, would take a considerable period of time. The one we looked at was up on field 34, but even that is a bit beyond us at minute. So that's where we're up to. But I'm thinking we're 2.5 hours in, so I'm pretty much done for the day. I will be back Monday evening Oz time, so Monday morning at various hours, UK, US and Europe, and we'll be back here on the Oaks on Monday, and then some 9 or 10 hours later back on Newlands. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. It's been a productive day and we've got a few things done. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.